Thank you very much, Lascian Corla. To ask the Minister for Transport, Tourism and Sport the reason why Shannon Airport continues to be under the regulation of the Commission of Aviation Regulation for the purposes of airport charges, in view of the fact that Shannon is an independent airport and has passenger numbers at the threshold for participation in the Regional Airports Programme.
I get 2 minutes.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank Deputy Harty for the question. Shannon Airport is subject to very limited regulation by the Commission for Regulation, whereby CAR sets charges for access to certain terminal facilities in compliance with the EU Directive on Ground Handling Services. It is not subject to economic regulation like Dublin Airport, whereby the regulator sets the maximum passenger charge which can be levied by that airport on airlines for the use of airport facilities and services due to its dominance in the market. Ireland's Regional Airports Programme is intended to support necessary safety and security investments and activities by the smaller regional airports at Donegal, Knock, Kerry and Waterford to enable them to continue to contribute to enhanced regional connectivity. There are a number of schemes under this programme by which exchequer funding is allocated to cover capital as well as operational expenditure at those airports. Passenger numbers at these small airports are less than 1 million per year, and the support provided helps them to comply with international safety and security regulatory obligations. There are no plans at present to extend this programme to other airports. Shannon Airport is a business within Shannon Group, which was established in 2014 following a decision by Government to combine Shannon Airport with the restructured Shannon development. The purpose of the group is to promote and facilitate air transport and aviation services in and around Shannon Airport, and to optimise the return on its land and property and on its shareholdings in subsidiary companies. Shannon Group, with its board, management and staff, is to be commended for its achievements since then, growing its passenger numbers by around 25% to 1.75 million in 2017, increasing its services and routes, successfully delivering the first phase of an investment programme in new and upgraded property solutions, as well as growing its aviation cluster from around 40 companies with around 1,400 employees to around 60 companies with around 2,600 employees. It is business, investing in its various sites, improving its product for tourists, as well as winning contracts for the management of other sites, including GPO, visitor centres and Newbridge House. As a state-owned enterprise with a fully commercial mandate, it is not considered appropriate or necessary to bring Shannon Airport within the framework of the Regional Airports Programme. It is a matter for Shannon Airport to ensure that it operates within that mandate as efficiently and effectively as possible so that it can cover its capital investments and operational expenditure.
Thank you, Minister, and it's good to be discussing affairs in relation to Shannon Airport's future on the floor of the Dáil. The future of Shannon Airport is inextricably linked with balanced regional development, both in the Midwestern region and along the Atlantic Economic Corridor. Shannon is a key economic driver in the region, and foreign direct investment companies see Shannon as a critical piece of infrastructure and key to the economic success of the region. EU rules allow capital expenditure support to airports of less than 3 million passengers. However, the Irish Government gives no financial support to Shannon, which has a passenger number of 1.7 million, but does to smaller privately owned regional airports. That support is in relation to capital investment and to operational matters such as security matters. A policy change is needed, Minister, to treat all airports outside Dublin on an equal basis. And if you are sincere in your ambition in relation to Project 2040 to drive effective balanced regional development, you need to ensure that Shannon is supported by policy change of equitable support. And in that regard, the EU in 2017 made an amendment to the General Block Exemption Regulation, which allows airports of less than 3 million passengers to be aided for investment in safety and security. So I would ask you, Minister, to consider looking at that regulation and implementing policy change.
1 minute.
Yeah, the Deputy is right. Its aid is restricted to safety and security. And my understanding, and the Deputy can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but the real problem at Shannon is its identified concerns regarding capital expenditure required in the mandatory upgrading of equipment. in order to comply with revised whole baggage screening standards. This expenditure, which has not been accounted for in Shannon Group's financial forecasts, is likely to be approximately 10 million and will present significant difficulties for the group. And the new HBS requirements are mandatory for all airports. And I understand there is a which is one which Shannon Airport is faced with and will have to overcome. I believe my officials are engaging with the Shannon Group to better understand all the elements relating to this issue. But if it even were to be included in the regional airports funding, I'm not sure whether safety and security would be part of that particular funding, because it wouldn't really fulfil the needs that Shannon has at the moment. Shannon's a different creature from those ones. It doesn't offer that. It does have competitors. It doesn't have a regulator.
Thank you, Minister. And related to that is the ability of Shannon to grow its passenger numbers and to be a successful airport. And I think there does need to be a policy change in relation to supporting the connectivity and the traffic numbers coming through Shannon. In the last 5 years, 95% of all passenger growth has been in Dublin Airport. And again, Project Ireland 40 has given a vision for attracting jobs to our regions and ensuring a fair distribution of economic growth. IDA has regional targets for foreign direct investment, and in turn I think Tourism Ireland should also have regional targets to ensure a fair distribution of visitors to Ireland and through our other airports, including Shannon. In 2016, 12.6 million was invested in Marketing Ireland, but 95% of the growth has occurred in the Dublin region, and Dublin has 87% of the incoming traffic. So it would appear that the vast majority of that money has been spent in the Dublin region and not in our regions. So I think there should be a look at how our investment in marketing is dispersed throughout the other airports, because Shannon is not getting a fair distribution of that funding, in my view. So, Minister, I would like to ask you how much was spent on the marketing of airports outside Dublin, and will you implement policies to attract more traffic to our regional airports and reverse the total dominance of Dublin?
1 minute.
Yeah, I think the problem here is that Shannon is a different creature from both Dublin, which has a monopoly, and Dublin obviously has to have a regulator for that reason, and it regulates very strictly all elements of the activities at Dublin Airport. The regulation in Shannon is very, very much restricted, as I said in my opening remarks, to terminals and other groups. The difficulty here is, I think, that it's a business within the Shannon Group, which was established in 2014, and as a state-owned enterprise with a fully commercial mandate, it's not considered appropriate or necessary to bring Shannon Airport within the framework of the regional airports programme. They are nakedly and openly subsidised, but Shannon Airport is not considered suitable for a very clear subsidy, because it has a commercial mandate, it has competitors, and it is not regulated by the CAR except in very small circumstances.